All right, so I picked up this little beauty on Facebook Marketplace, and I was just tired of not having a tiller out here. I didn't want one of those little tiny tillers that do in between the rows, and I didn't want a massive like Troy-built tiller with the rear tines. Yeah, I just wanted this little front tine. Found this. Great price. A lot of these things are expensive on Marketplace for used. I mean, you throw another $100 or $2 at it and you can get them brand new at the store. So I was really happy. I want to say I paid 75 bucks for this. So great find. And as we expand our garden area, we expanded this a few years ago, and we've been doing broccoli and zucchini in it, and it's been doing really good. I've done a video on our mulch barrel, well, let's call it a compost barrel, and a compost bin. And I've got a system where we start by putting the stuff in there, rotate it. It's got side A and side B. And then once both sides are full, then I empty one of them into the compost bin and stir it up in there, and then fill that. And then once it's full, empty the other side, and so on and so forth. I've been turning out some incredible compost. I filled up this spot, and our zucchini and our broccoli has just been doing amazing. So I'd like to continue to expand our garden area. You can see I just tried out the tiller here. I brought it home when I bought it last fall. The guy showed me and it worked great, and I've just stuck it in the greenhouse all winter, and it's been there ever since. I pulled it out, I set it to choke, I turned it to run, I put the throttle about halfway. It literally started on the first pull. I was so impressed. I didn't put any stabilizer in the gasoline. There's no primer on it. It literally fired on the first pull. So I was super tickled pink with that. It's a little Briggs & Stratton engine, so not too surprising. Briggs & Stratton is usually pretty solid. So you can see where I tried it out. I just wanted to make sure everything worked, make sure I didn't have to fix something or tinker with something as garden season approaches us. It's a little bit later for us out here as it is for all you guys. I'm sure you guys all have your gardens in already. We try to get things in the ground by June 1st. Isn't that crazy? June 1st out here. As you can see, we still have ice on the lake. There's still a lot of snow around here. It's May 6th, May 7th, something like that. So tiller's working good. You can see over there where there's more rocks and not topsoil. I want to bring some more topsoil over there. And my plan for that is, see the garden spot right there, and then this new garden spot. There's that little chunk of ground right in between, a little triangle. I just made a straight line with my Pulaski tool in the sod, and I'm going to cut that sod out. Probably use it in areas when we dig a new outhouse hole. We always need extra sod to cover the old hole. So I'll save some of that sod. And you can see the ground is a little bit higher. So I will take that topsoil and I'll put it in this spot right here. Let me get down lower and you'll be able to see the difference in the levels here. So this spot right in front of me needs topsoil on it. This is terrible dirt right here, and so I'll put the topsoil that I get from that spot into there. That'll expand that garden spot by, let's say 30-40%, and this spot will be expanded, and we'll make it all into one by cutting this little line out here, this little corner of sod. We're gonna have a lot bigger garden spot. I'm super excited about that. We're gonna have a big potato spot, and hopefully do a lot of broccoli and zucchini this year. And let's hope for a nice regular summer. And we also have this little job here, this little chipper shredder. It's not a beast of a chipper shredder, but I think it will do what we want it to do. We've always got little branches coming off the willow tree here, or cutting up alders over here, expanding things. And it'll be nice to turn that stuff into chips. We can use it for mulch in places, or even throw it in compost. So we've got a couple tools this year that are really exciting for me in the garden area, and I think we're going to be able to give the garden a really good go this year. We'll keep you guys posted and updated. All right, so I'm getting that garden spot expanded a little bit. I've got this low spot, and I've built up a little retaining wall with some of the bad sod. I saved some of the better sod right there. So I'll continue filling this hole. You can see that dirt is a lot lighter colored. It's not good quality soil. And I'm digging it out of this trench here because it's kind of a high spot. So I'll throw that material over in there. And once I get that done, then this pile right in front of me, which is a lot better topsoil, and then that big pile right there, which is really good topsoil, I will use to level out over the top of all this. Now I've come across a couple rocks, and obviously that guy right there. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to move that one. That one might be a possibility, but even if I can't, it's not too big of a deal because it's right on the edge. So I'm not really losing a lot of space there. We'll see what happens with that one. I've struggled with another rock similar that was like right under that area, and I just decided to bury it. So it's coming along. Right here, I've scraped another little bit of layer of topsoil off, but this is frozen still. So I just do a little bit of it at a time and keep making my way on this garden spot.
That is the first float plane of the year. As you can tell, whoever it is not coming to land on our lake. But it does mean that there is open lakes down in town, whether that be Anchorage or Willow or Talkeetna. Someone is flying a float plane for the first time this year. That's the first one we've seen. All right, it's making a lot of noise. Hey Joe! Out here working on a disgusting project because months ago, Joe and I both mentioned in our vlogs that the drainage system in the lodge for the shower and sink was not working properly. I think it's at least in part due to the fact that we were draining the washing machine down the shower drain. It also has to do with the fact that it was installed probably 25 years ago and it's not a septic system. So we're just going to do a quick overview here because it's disgusting and I'm not going to video it in depth. But we'll circle around. All right, so we have got dirt and a hole because Joe and I can't get enough of this hole digging because we love digging outhouse holes. We thought we'd try another one. So
thanks for joining us on This Old House. This Old House today is brought to you by Ryobi.
This old house.
And Cal Mud Boots.
This is not sponsored by TLC.
No.
Okay, so hang on. The pipe comes out of the shower room there. Comes over here, and then all that was installed was this old metal steel tank, steel barrel. So what we're doing now is cutting into it to actually tear it into pieces, but also bucket it out. And it's going to be foul, and I just don't want to get on video. I just kind of want to get an update for us. You know, someday when Joe and I are old and gray, for some it's sooner than others, we're going to look back and say, when did we do that? What year was that? What did we do? So videos like this may not be great vlog footage, but it is going to help us in the future when it comes to renovations. All right, so there's our hole, probably 3.5, 4 feet deep. Joe and I finally got the barrel out. We had to pretty much destroy it, cut a bunch of pieces out with the grinder and the Sawzall. But at least we got our hole back. Just gonna transfer the barrel into the sled so we can get it out of here for now. And then I guess wait a couple days for the hole to dry out because we gotta dig a little deeper to install a new poly barrel. Okay. I'm fresh out of the hole. I don't know what that sounds like. It doesn't sound like what I mean it to sound like. But there we go. Finally, I think I'm deep enough. So I'm going to go check in with Joe. I can't even talk. He's measured the barrel. Merrill means it's short for measured the barrel. So we're going to go check in with Joe. He's drilling holes. The other barrel was resting here, and that hole is probably another 16 inches deep. So the new one's going to go in there vertical. All the kids are just hanging out outside. Chloe's being a good big sister and reading to them. All right, let's head to the shop. All right, what's the word?
Got my trusty Forstner bit here.
Oh, one and only Ryobi.
Ryobi. Drilling 1-inch holes for the drain. I've got a 2.5-inch hole here for the drain pipe to come into. This thing's going to set vertical like this in the hole that Zach just dug. And I did the drain hole right in front of this.
Bung hole?
The bung hole right here. I was looking for the cap.
Where's the lid?
That way, for whatever reason down the road, if we want to inspect it, just like a septic tank, you can take that off and look and see right at the drain.
We could potentially even pump it out in the future. If we ever had to.
If we had to. I also put holes in the bottom. I tried to put them at the low points. So we'll put a bed of rock down. And I forgot to mention to Zach, we need to go 32 inches deep.
Plus a bed of rock.
Plus a little bed of rock.
You sucker.
Yeah, so we'll set rock down so this can set on top of rock. And then I've almost got all my holes dug, drilled.
All right, before I dig more, I came for the tape measure. So let's see if I've actually gone far enough. And we'll see. I was only supposed to go like 32.25, but from the bottom to the top here is 34.25. So I already went a little too far, but that's good. I don't know how big of a bed of gravel Joe's going to want right there, but I'm well on my way. I'll probably take another inch or so, and we will be ready to drop the tank in here.
All right, Zach did the tough work. We're laying a layer of rock in here now that Zach dug the hole all out. And if you want to come and take a closer look, a nice bed of rock in there. So I'll go ahead and set it in place. You can see the hole where the drain pipe's going to go in. We brought that level, the bottom, the rock level up to this, to where they match up. Hang on. There we go. Nice. All right. All right, so now what we will do, there's some space around the barrel. We'll start dropping the rest of this rock that we have. Sand and topsoil would just make this drywell system fail very quickly. So surrounding it with rock, putting some plastic on top to keep the top safe and everything is going to make it last a lot longer than if we didn't have this rock. So it's washed rock. We can't go to a gravel yard and get it. We save it out here for such a time as this. I think we're almost done with this project. Like I said, we're going to surround it with rock and start backfilling.
Okay, we are down here closer to the lake today. Back in March, I suppose, we hauled a bunch of lumber up the trail, and it's for this project here. The boardwalk we were talking about. So we have these old railroad ties that have made their journey all the way up from Montana. When our mom and dad moved up from Montana, the railroad ties were something Dad did not want to part with. And we hauled them out here and finally gave them a purpose. So there we go. We will, over there in the shade, there's our last beam, and we're gonna end there for this summer and then add on to it next year with more out toward the lake. But for now, just a little project update. Got some deck boards going on.
I do. Can I get your square?
Yep.
I'm starting my first one, and I think it kind of needs to be somewhat square.
Need to start at least a little square. Pulled up all the rock that used to be our walkway. It's all sitting random on the side of the trail now, so we can use it other places. And then in the future, we'd like to build a nice stairway with a handrail up that. But that is a problem for another day. All right, well, we'll come back later when we got some more deck boards down. Joe's installing now, and I'm cutting them to length. So I gotta get back to it. We're on the home stretch here. Got it decked all the way down to the boathouse. Just have that last strip to do, and then Joe will build a step that will go down to the level of the ground. And this will free float. All of these railroad ties and the beams and stuff will go up and down with the frost. Every spring and fall, this is gonna move a lot. So we're hoping that there's enough flex in all of it to just float over the tundra. It's coming together pretty good, pretty easy.
And you can see down here what we are going over.
Yep, the reason we wanted to do this in the first place. There's constant groundwater that drains down, and this seems to be the catch-all. Seems like the path was built here like 30 years ago, right in the creek bed.
Well, it was. And you can see the piles of rocks that we have. The previous owners put them down, and they started sinking out of sight. And then when we took over out here, I brought like 10 wheelbarrow loads of dirt. I took all the rocks out, put a lot of dirt in, and then set the rocks back in. And they're sinking again. We've been out here for about 10 years now, and they're sinking again. So we finally said, we're done with that. Let's just float over the top of it.
Let's build a boardwalk.
I have finished our garden expansion. It turned out really well. I'll take you over here and show you. I am in the stages of getting ready to plant potatoes right now. And I had just sprinkled some 1616 fertilizer on here and tilled it all up. Our new to us tiller worked great. I'm so happy I didn't have to do it by hand. I have set out our rows, and I went 2 feet apart. Our potatoes don't grow very big out here, so I didn't figure they needed as much space. 2 foot apart on the rows, and I'm going to go probably 12 inches in between the potatoes. I could go less, like 8 inches, but we're gonna do 12. Our potatoes, the eyes have started sprouting on the potatoes, and they're ready to go in the ground. It's not quite June 1st out here in Alaska, which is usually the date that you want to wait for. If you can see behind me, we still have quite a bit of snow, and the lake is not completely thawed yet. So, but this garden spot has been thawed for quite a while, and it's ready for potatoes. The potatoes will be under a couple inches of soil, so I'm not worried about them frosting if we have a late frost. And we'll get these things kind of an early start. It's crazy. It's the end of May, right? But it's an early start for us. So I'm going to get these potatoes in the ground, and that'll be the first thing that we put in the ground out here in the garden. We will probably do some carrots and radishes over in this little spot right here. I'm excited about this garden this year, guys. Let's go.
All right, yep, clean off this lens. Good. All right, so there's Chloe. As is the case most of the time this time of year when we're getting ready for tourist season, the vlogs get really random and ramshackled together. So this is really no exception to that. I'm gonna walk around the property, show you a few updates that have been happening the last week or two. All right, so this is the area that we buried that blue poly tank. Joe resodded the surface, so that will kind of look like a patchwork for a little bit. We come over to the backyard, and it is windy today, so I apologize if the wind is cutting through the mic. I've got a new flagpole drying here. We put a stain on it, so that'll go up soon. Gotta wave the old flags. The flags get beat up, as you guys have seen from previous episodes, so we've got new flags ordered. Should be on the first supply flight in. And when the old flagpole rotted and snapped off at the ground height about like 2 feet up, we knew it was time to just kind of redo everything. So there we go. Over here, Joe built a axe throwing stand. It's something he's been wanting to do for 10 years and just finally got around to it. This year, not having a huge project like the new roofs on the cabins, and like next year the plan is to build a new deck on the lodge. This year was kind of an in-between year. Ooh, between these cabins is a little warmer and not so windy. I'm gonna stay here for a second. With this year, not as many projects going on. We had time to catch up with the kids, hang out with our wives more, do small projects like the boardwalk down to the lake, an axe throwing stand, just some cool things like that that have just had to go by the wayside the last couple of years. So let's go get a quick update on the boardwalk, and then we'll look at the lake ice. All right, so that's done for this year. In the next year or two, we'd love to add on to it and make a big old section over here with a raised section where we can put people's luggage and groceries when a big flight of supplies comes out. We're gonna launch the dock soon, and the ice was touching the shore this morning, and it's moved that much just because of the wind. So the wind is a little chilly, but it's also really necessary to start busting up those icebergs, and you can kind of hear it crinkling around as the icebergs clash into each other. So there we go, good old update. Oh my gosh, hi, say hello Vlogland.
Hello, Vlogland.
What are you up to today? Would you like to go down on the boardwalk and show us how it works?
Yeah.
Okay, do it. I'll video you. Do you like it? Oh, that's 2 thumbs up. All right, run back up to the boardwalk. Run up it as fast as you can. On your mark.
Rock on, dude.
He said, rock on, dude. You're right, man. Rock on. Good job. Okay, if I can think of anything else, let's video it real quick for our family in YouTube land. Can you do Shaka? Nailed it. Are you doing anything vlog worthy? All right, I'm just trying to get an update.
Unless you want to come watch me type.
Are you doing QuickBooks?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fun.
Well, someone's got to do it. Thank you for doing it. All right, so finalize our update here. Bonnie and the kids just moved all the plants from that rack out to the greenhouse, and just getting some last minute stuff done before the tourist season starts. It's June 1st. You guys will see this like for the first time on June 2nd when the video comes out. So as you can see, the lake ice is moving. We're hopeful and optimistic that that means a float plane will be able to bring us our first supplies on June 8th. So with that, we'll wrap it up and we'll call it a week. Thanks guys for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button if you like our off-grid shenanigans, and check out a couple more of our videos. Our winter videos seem to be more intentional and thought out because we have time to spend, building an episode. This time of year is just crazy. And our YouTube channel and all you guys, I apologize. The YouTube channel has to take a back seat to tourism as we get started in this time of year. So, all right, with that, we'll catch you in the next video. See ya.
Bramante brothers. I can hear the river,